We're going to go through a simple example here of how to add a welcome page using the Elementor website builder to show you just how the tool works. We're on our dashboard here, and then we're just going to add a new page to our site. By default, the WordPress block editor comes up, and we want to switch to editing with Elementor. So we click the button here at the top that'll launch the Elementor editor. Once the editor launches, you'll notice we have some extraneous detail around the edges of our Elementor canvas. We're going to fix that in just a moment and go to a full Elementor canvas. We access the settings, and from the drop down box, we choose Elementor Canvas to clear all the extraneous elements off of the screen. So now we have our blank Elementor canvas, and we want to start adding elements here. So the first element we're going to add is a heading, and we're just going to drag it over into the widget area to add it to the page. Now, that isn't quite at the top of our page because we already had a section from Elementor added. So we're going to change that and drag it into the top of our page. Elementor lets you just drag and drop elements wherever you need them to be on the site. So we'll drag it up to the top, and then we can start making some changes to that header using the Elementor editing tools. We're going to change the text, just welcome our visitor. And then we want to change the color. We have some options here. We can either enter hex values for colors that we want to use to match our themes. We also have the color picker tool where we can select from any hue value we want from those tools. But we're just going to put in a black font, and then we will see it change immediately in the preview pane. And we want to change the size a little bit. So under typography, we'll select the size and just scale it up for our site. So that's better. That's what we want. We also want to center that text. So we use this alignment tool, and there it is, right there in the middle. Now we want to add some navigation features to our site, kind of a toolbar into the area under the welcome. So we'll add a intersection that has two columns, and we'll drag it and drop it in. And in the first section on the left, we want to add a menu to it, but we have an extra section down here that we want to take care of. So we'll just delete that. We'll take care of this other extra section as well. But now we want to add our menu. So we search for the menu component, and then we drop our nav menu into that first section. And we'll just keep our brief menu as our option here for our page. And now we want to add our social icons. So we'll go back to our components and search for social. There are our icons. We'll drop them in, and we'll just put in our Facebook link here. I'll put my link in, and we'll keep the official colors, but we could change those to custom colors if we had a theme that we wanted to match to. And we want to switch to circle. And we want to align these to the right so that we have some room between our elements. And then we're going to resize those to where we want them. They can be bigger, smaller, just however fits our need. Right about there is perfect for us. So our header's starting to take shape. Now we want to offset this a little bit with a different color background just to set it apart from the edges. So we will change the background color to just a white background. And now that kind of sets off and stands apart from the sides of the site. And now we can start building out the content of our page. But first, I want to get rid of this extraneous section down here, and it's gone. So I'm going to drop another 2-column section in, and we'll add a header to that column, and we can do that a couple of ways. We can drag in the header and drop it into the column. But if we want to keep the styling, we will duplicate the header from one that we've already dropped in previously. So we'll just right click on the welcome visitor and duplicate it, and then we can just drag it down into this column and make the changes for what we want. We want to just change the text here to say welcome text, and we'll style this a little bit, change the size of it. Doesn't have to quite be that big. And then we're going to move it to the right hand or left hand side. And now we can drop some text in underneath it. This has just lorem ipsum text by default. I'm just going to make a few copies of that to show what the text would look like on the page. And then we have some options for the right-hand column. And this one, we can put a video over there, and we'll have a default placeholder video there in the link for YouTube. You can put whatever URL your video has there. You have several different options as to which video services you can use, even if you want to host your own video. You can also specify at what point the video starts and ends for YouTube, whether or not it's going to loop or be muted on start or autoplay on start. Lots of different settings in the default components for Elementor. So now I want to add a little bit of a footer element to the page. I'm just going to drop in some text down here in the first column. Actually, let me make this look a little bit better. I'm going to add a spacer and then resize that. And that pushes the content down lower on the page so we kind of fill the vertical space of the page. Now we can drop in our text into that left column. And then in the right column, I want to just grab an image, and I can resize it to whatever size I want it to be in that space. So I will grab an image from my machine. There, I'll just use my image, and I'll insert it. There I am. I'm a little too big, so I'm going to resize down to a smaller image. And then I'm a little too far down the page, so I want to shrink that spacer up, move everything up a little bit more, and there we are. And that should be above the fold on most screens. And now we can take a look. We've published it, and we'll view the live page. And there it is, live on the site. As simple as that, to add a new page and all the elements you'd like onto your site using Elementor.
See the description below for a link where you can get Elementor for your website yourself. Full disclosure, I am an affiliate for Elementor, but I use it myself and highly recommend it for anyone looking for an ultimate web builder for their WordPress website.